These are just some of Alaska's commercial fishing boats. Each year, their crews catch enough fish to place Alaska first among all of the states in the value of harvest. In fact, if Alaska were an independent country, we would rank 5th in volume and 11th in value, ahead of such countries as Norway, Denmark, Iceland, and Canada. Hello, I'm Scott Foster. Welcome again to Rain Country, where this week we spend our time with some of the Southeasterners who spend their time on the water or working with the resources that come with it. And we begin in Petersburg, a town that was founded because of its access to the fisheries and remains for the same reasons today.
Peter Bushman's cannery put up its first pack in 1900. He built it and a sawmill on a homestead along the Wrangell Narrows. Bushman chose his location well. The site grew to be Petersburg, and the two industries have remained the town's economic mainstays. Bushman eventually went bankrupt, and his cannery passed into other hands, a process that's been repeated many times. Pacific American Fisheries gained control in 1929 and ran the cannery until the mid-1960s. In 1965, the company sent their general superintendent from the Seattle office back to Petersburg. Bob Thorstensen had been Petersburg plant superintendent, and he had to deliver some bad news to local residents.
Mr. Tarrant, the president of the company at that time, and I came to Petersburg to tell the town that Pacific American Fisheries was going to close the plant, and the board had given us 2 weeks to sell it or make other arrangements or it would be on the open market. And as far as Pacific American Fisheries was concerned, they would not operate it again. And so it was kind of it was a disaster time. Town was faced with its most important or its largest employer and leaving, and so what can we do on this?
What he could do, Thorstensen decided, was buy the cannery. He, Thomas Thompson, Gordon Jensen, and Mangus Martins organized a new company to keep the plant operating, and Petersburg Fisheries, Inc. was started. The money to buy the Petersburg cannery and some of its fishing boats came from a small business administration loan, the Petersburg Local Development Corporation, a Seattle bank, and local fishermen.
After the four of us established the company, we sold stock to the local fish captains, and since then it's been owned by the fishermen captains and by the employees of the company. We almost didn't survive the first year. There wasn't very good fishing, and pack was small and looked pretty grim at one time. But markets improved, and we stayed late in the fall after the other processors had all gone home, and some of the fellows from Angoon and Hoona fished for us in the fall chum operations in the excursion inlet in different places. And so we bailed out. By the early part in October, we had enough money to make a little profit, and things went better from there on.
First year sales for canned salmon, $1.5 million. In PFI's 25th year of operation, total sales were over $230 million. Since the purchase, the new managers expanded PFI to Seward, Sitka, Homer, Bellingham, Astoria, added large floating freezer plants for operation in western Alaska, and changed their name to Icicle Seafoods. In 1989, after 25 years as a cannery, Icicle gathered people together in Petersburg to pay tribute and to have some fun.
Well, the reason for this gathering was to thank the people in Petersburg, the community, the city fathers, the fishermen, the workers, everybody that participated and helped Icicle succeed. It's been a team effort, and we've certainly appreciated it.
A dozen fishermen have been catching fish for the company for each of those 25 years. They were given silver belt buckles. Awards went to other longtime PFI employees. And there were some memories of the earlier days that were shared.
Bob gave us a lot of challenges in our early years with PFI. I'll never forget one day I was sitting there in the office and wondering what was going to happen next, and there was Bob Thorstensen He said, Walter, what do you know about scallops? I said, I don't know a damn thing about scallops. He said, well, you better find out because we got 30,000 pounds coming in.
Well, I think we can all be mighty proud of it. Fed a bunch of stupid fishermen and one smart manager put us on our feet here and got us going. And it was a pretty shaky opposition deal here for a few years, but it's been real successful. And I'm real happy tonight to see we're all here. Things are going great for all of us. What's that old song? Folks are dumb where I come from. They ain't had too much learning. Still we're happy as can be, doing what comes naturally.
What comes naturally to these fishermen has been taking place at this location since the turn of the century in Petersburg.
Well, the basic canning building that has all of the canning machinery in it still has the framework and the timbers of first growth timber that was put in when it was built in 1898 and 1899, first year of operation 1900. Has a new lining and a new outside, but the basic structure is still there.
Of course, the equipment has changed as the years have passed.
All of our fish is delivered in refrigeration. Fish prices depend on how cold the fish is, so the fishermen strive to keep the fish to 32 or 31 degrees. They're offloaded with vacuum pumps and graded by species and grade for either freezing or canning. Mostly the pinks that go into the cannery, where they are run through modern processing machines at a rate of 140 fish a minute to be dressed. Eggs are automatically removed and taken to a processing area. The cleaned fish then are canned either in half pounds, 1 pound tall cans, or in 6.5 ounce skinned and boned. Then the cans are cooked in large retorts where the temperatures are automatically recorded, cooled and packed into bright stacks, about equivalent of 50 cases, all stacked and wrapped with plastic and shipped to warehouses to be later labeled and shipped to buyers. As I mentioned, this is the oldest cannery still operating. It's in its 91st year, and it is the most modern, sophisticated machinery-wise and equipment-wise of any cannery in Alaska.